The march of time never ceases. As the nights rinse and repeat themselves, an immortal begins to realize the days and nights are not so different. How kin and kindred share a similarity that no one wishes to admit. Those who reside in the shadows see all sides. Some form opinions of their own, and others will dedicate themselves to protecting those from the darkest parts of themselves. As you, Casimir, rise for the evening, you wonder how Essence is doing. She left and went, well, not quite on her own. It has been some time since you or any of the other coterie has heard anything from her. Anytime and everything can happen in a single night. And it wasn't until those with a phone received a message from the owner of the peninsula, Alan. I pass along this message and continue to urge this, even if it has to be with the kin. Do not be alone. My watchmen are investigating a sighting of a creature that attacked Essence and her friend. Keep your eyes open, and do not let your guards down. To all, be safe. This brought a fire within you, Casimir, and need to learn more to protect those close to you, and one you know might have the answers you seek. Miss Sophie has been waiting for you, and you could only hope Alan got to speak with her about you. There was also a matter of your weapon. You loved it dearly, but it's been your companion through many dark times, but its bulkiness was cumbersome. You needed something more portable in these moments of crisis. And where was that kindred, the little blonde man? He should have found you by now. Where could he be? What is the first thing you do, Casimir?
I am gonna go in her kitchen and look for a knife.
It does not take you long to find a knife. They're just about in little drawers and the butcher block in the sink.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This one up. No, that one's too big. Slip this one in here. All right.
And then what?
I'm taking this bad boy with me. I don't know. I don't feel like I need to leave, bro. Is there like a piece of paper or pen anywhere so I can write her a note?
Yes. You find a little notepad that's on, like one of the refrigerators, a little magnetic notepad with a little pen next to it.
Okay.
So you see first is a little shopping list. Eggs, butter, milk, necessities for a human.
I am gonna write down a note on there for her.
And what does it say?
Dearest Rochelle. And then he's gonna scratch that out because I feel like that wouldn't be appropriate. It's like, young Rochelle. Miss Essence does not seem to be in the apartment, and I have yet to find out where Rain is. I can feel maybe she is close by. I have some business I need to take care of. I'm gonna sit and think about it for a minute. As I can't... This is a lot. This is a lot for a note, isn't it? Okay. I have some business that I need to take care of. Please be safe. Question, Taylor. I don't have the ability to know that Alan has said, hey, you guys... Like, I don't, right? I don't have a phone. No phono.
It doesn't stop you from hearing from Rochelle, because Rochelle has that number.
Okay. But I haven't heard from her. At this point, right?
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
Do you think Rochelle would have said something? It has been...
No, I'm going to assume that she's still asleep because she's a moody, young kindred. They like to sleep in. So, I've not yet heard from Alan, nor do I know where Miss Essence is. but I have a feeling that she is safe. She's a strong kindred. I'm going out. If you can't find me, I will be at, and then he's going to write the church's information down. I hope to be back before dawn. If not, I'm at the hotel. And then I think he's going to write, P.S. I've confiscated one of your mom's kitchen knives. I promise I'll bring it back in one piece or pay for it. Signed, Father Casimir.
Thanks. Where exactly do you leave the notes? Do you choose to leave it on the fridge, or do you set it somewhere on the kitchen counter?
You know, her house is clean, right? It was really clean?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm gonna put it on the kitchen counter with like a cup or something on it so it catches her eye.
All right. Once you finish that, do you choose to head to the church first?
Yep, I'm going to the church.
How do you get there?
I'm walking. I don't have the fancy ghouls, so and I can't drive. I can't drive. You know what? Is her house near a bus station, maybe? Because I have some money. Like, I have money I can use. Although I don't think I know the bus route, so no. I'm just gonna walk.
Okay.
Walk.
And it takes you some time to get there between Rochelle's place and the cathedral, and this particular cathedral. Just it's in Manhattan, but it's kind of out of the way where you're normally used to going right now, but it's still within Manhattan, still within Allen's territory. And as you get there, this church stands tall, gazing down upon you all in an almost foreboding and yet comforting presence. Its Romanesque architecture rivals another local church, but here it seems to have a more grand feel to it. You climb the steps and wander inside. The beautiful art continues all the way through, leading you into the main room of the church's altar, where it is being tended by a fellow nun. Good evening, she greets you, and this is so good to meet you. Father Casimir, I heard you were okay. It's been so long.
I'm so sorry, sister. I did not mean to worry you. Did you get my message from Alan?
Yes, he stopped by the night before. No?
Yes, I am so sorry. I've been more than had my hands filled with the current case. So I'm sorry I have neglected my missionary work as well.
And as long as you're safe. It's been rather frightening out there. Helen, you got word to me about a creature? Was it you that experienced it?
What was that?
Alan got word to me about a creature not too long ago. Were you the one to experience it?
The preacher?
Yes. I guess. I think he said. I think he said Essence and her friend. I assume you were together.
Maybe. I'm not quite sure what exactly you're asking. If you're asking if I've been with Essence, then yes, I have been with Essence Cobra.
Were you there
I'm
when she got
sorry.
attacked?
Oh, when she got attacked? No. She was attacked?
There was I guess a creature came upon her, and at least Alan said her and a friend.
Oh, a creature. The language barrier is so hard sometimes. A creature. No. No, I did not know. What kind of creature are you talking about?
Do you think I was speaking? I'm sorry. Did I say something funny?
No,
I
it's
did what
not
you
you.
did.
It's not you. I'm still confused with some of the words every once in a while. I think it gets me in trouble with the younger kindred still here.
So when I say creature, what do you think it means?
I thought you said preacher. I was like, oh, me?
I'm sorry. No, creature, monster.
No, Was that this evening?
Not this evening. It was last night, apparently.
Right. No, I was not informed of that. Although I don't have what, that.
Oh, a phone. A cell phone.
Yes, that thing.
Should we get you a cell phone? It would make it easier to communicate.
I'm afraid that's just another thing that I'm going to have to learn. Can you get one that doesn't have all of that lights and weird. I see Rochelle on it sometimes. This weird noises, and she's going like this, like she's watching videos. I don't know.
We can get you something simple. I mean, I know Alan might be able to get you something too, but we can offer something as well, just as simple. Just a means to call you if we have to.
All right. As long as it doesn't have all those weird things, I think I'll be all right.
We'll make sure it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. But the way that Alan said essence, and I don't know who her friend is. I assumed it was you. I guess the friend and had described it like a mangy dog.
A dog. Mangy dog.
Yeah.
They have them in New York?
And I didn't think that they had werewolves. I've been here for a long time and I haven't seen one.
Werewolves. Oh, you mean the guru? The what is that?
The guru.
Guru, that's what they are. Yes, them. You don't think that they're here?
Not to my knowledge.
That's weird.
Yes, that's why I was when I heard they managed to get away, thankfully they got away. It made me realize I don't think it would be if the legends speak true. If it was a werewolf, it would have easily caught up to them and we wouldn't be hearing about it.
I don't think a werewolf would like it here anyways. Aren't they known for being out in more open territory? I don't know. Although I found out about another clan that's completely different than what I used to, so I'm not surprised anymore.
Yes, I apologize. You probably want some. Did you need anything?
Yes, I came to help out at the church and spend some time and do more of my studying while I have a moment.
Yes. Yes, we were leaving off. Did you have a chance to read any of the books that I provided for you?
I did. I read some of them, and even that Twilight.
You did?
I didn't read all of it, but I'm on chapter 3. It's
Oh,
been... yes.
You'll see why I like it.
Who is your favorite Twilight character? That is something people keep asking me.
Character or team?
Team. There's teams.
There is a team.
Well. Yeah, what is your favorite team?
She glances around, makes sure nobody listens in, and she leans in closer. I do prefer. I am quite privy to Team Jacob. But you mustn't
Jacob.
tell me.
Oh, your secret's safe with me.
We wouldn't. Oh my gosh, we wouldn't want the rest. Oh.
Wait, is the Reverend a fan of Twilight too? Is everybody a fan of this book?
No, he doesn't particularly. He finds it to be a little bit not suitable.
I can tell why.
But I could easily go on for hours about it.
Mm.
The other lessons. Have you? I think you might be ready for me to start teaching you another ritual.
Hopefully this one doesn't involve too much blood. Apparently, the other kindred in my coterie seem to not like it when I do rituals.
They don't? Why is that?
No, I don't know. Even when I offer them, well, I performed it on them anyways, protection. Although I did tell them what the whole thing was. But it's only fair, right? You know, you shouldn't leave out any details. That's
No,
rude.
it is very rude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. How did you tell them, though? Because you know what they say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Maybe. I'm still having a hard time reconnecting with some of them. I did make one ally or friend, I suppose. That was unexpected, but the other two,
Tell me about them.
about who?
Your allies.
My allies. Well, I don't think they would like it if I talked about them. Plus, you know, you go telling one kindred, then the other kindreds know, and then everybody's like, oh, Father Casimir does, like kindreds. We don't want that now.
Don't you?
No.
You don't want a little. You don't want. Allies are like friends.
Friends, I'm here for work, Sister Sophie. Remember, I have enough of them. I need to focus. Can't stray from the path. Right?
To a point. You don't want to become too lonely on that path.
That's what you're for.
Well, I'm honored. Now, I've been doing some digging and researching, and given what you've been studying, would you like to learn another form of protection?
Yes. I'm going to need all the protection we can get. Any help.
This one is particularly This one is much like another ability from another clan, but this one you can easily harness. It takes some time, but with enough patience you'll be able to harness it, and it can shield your mind from any intrusion, any distractions. And if you focus on it hard enough, it may be able to protect one of your allies too.
That's perfect.
Alright, let's go. And she takes you by your hands, and she takes you off into one of the other rooms that are private. No one will be allowed to enter or leave at this time. She sets you down, she moves over to one of the shelves, she picks up a small scroll. Let's see. According to this, we'll need some candles. We need some salt for that protection. And give me 1 second to find it. I could have swore I sent you that discipline, right? The one that we made for you.
No. I remember it. I don't remember what it was called, but we definitely did.
Yeah.
I remember the symbol. I know you said you were going to fluff it up, so.
Yes, if I was going to be presenting it to the big boys, I want to fluff it up.
Mm-hmm.
Where's it gone?
I know you sent it to me through Instagram, but that was a long time ago. We talk a lot.
I at least want to find it through my own as well. Maybe sent the unseen presence. It's the character sheet. Doing things. There's it's so weird.
We lost it. It was the best one, and we lost it. It's gone forever.
One. Makes me sad because, like, I haven't deleted anything.
Are you looking in your Instagram chat?
No, I'm not connected to it. Ah ha ha! There we go.
Magic!
Ha ha! Past Taylor up and putting it right to Casimir's character sheet. Hi. And blood of oneself.
Blood of oneself, or
yourself.
Blood of oneself. Okay.
Alrighty, and she goes ahead and starts reading off the scroll. By encircling oneself, you are able to create a barrier to protect your mind. Depending on how long you last in this barrier, or stay in that barrier, you can extend that protection to another. Is that something you would be interested in?
For my first time, I think I would like to try that while you're here.
Alright, we can do that. She goes ahead and starts gathering some of the candles and the salts. And as she gathers each item, she hands them off to you carefully to set up.
I'm definitely gonna help her.
You're gonna help her?
Oh yeah. I know a little bit about rituals, right? I know a little bit about I'm helping.
You'll easily be able to help. And she follows the pattern on the scroll, setting a candle, making just a simple circle. And she begins taking the black salt, not caring if it dirties her hands, and she begins sprinkling
Okay,
it.
give me 1 second. Okay,
Sure.
Sorry.
You're good, you're good.
Tuna's in here and he keeps distracting me. He is going out. Come on, cat. He said he wanted to be here too. I said, I can't keep looking at you, Cat. I'm trying to listen to Taylor. Sorry.
You're good, you're good. I snuck in some food. Just not caring if she dirties her hands, she begins sprinkling the black salt around the candles as well, following the pattern. Alrighty, so you would just sit inside of the circle,
Alright.
offering your blood.
My favorite part, and he's gonna pull out the knife. He had from Rochelle's.
I'm not opposed to you bringing in weapons into the cathedral. It's part of your blood. I feel like someone of your caliber would have more. A better knife than a fake knife?
Unfortunately, I have yet to go. And he's gonna cut his hand, and he's gonna continue talking as he cuts his hand for it. I haven't had time to go and find a more convenient weapon. It's a lot easier for me to hold it and use it in, the desert. But here, it's a little hard for me to keep hiding how big it is. And he's gonna start offering some of his blood into the salt.
And much like how your previous rituals were, the
Can you
blood
go?
begins to flow, following through the salt, through the candles, and then begins to glow a soft red, very soft glow.
That's a new one.
And according to it, the longer you stay in, the longer the spell will last for you.
All right.
So feel free to stay as long as you need. And let me know when you're finished, so I can help you with that. She points to the wounds that you made on your arm.
Oh, you mean my hand? I totally cut it right here. It's like my favorite spot.
On your hand.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you choose to stay
Mm,
in the circle?
I think I want to stay in here. What time is it?
It is. We'll say it's about 8:30.
8:30. Okay. I want to stay here until 10:30 at least.
2 hours. And as you do, you begin to meditate, allowing your mind to clear, enter in this very quiet, Zen-like state of mind. Go ahead. Go ahead and roll your blood sorcery plus occult.
Actually, gotta find my stuff now.
I mean, work.
4. Two unks, 2 successes, and 3 blanks.
Okay. And as you stir from your thoughts after a couple of hours, you begin to feel calm, at ease, like almost nothing can touch your thoughts. You feel protected, your mind at ease, complete and total ease. And this entire time, Sophie has stayed, just reading through her book before she notices you beginning to stir. When she does, she closes it up, sets it down, and moves over to you. How do you feel?
A little bit better, I suppose. I don't know. Do I look any different?
Different, but you do feel calmer. May I see your hand? And your arm, your hand is still has that cut on it. So she takes that hand and she mutters something under her breath. Enough that by the time she slides her hand right over and towards herself, the wound is gone. As if it's never been there to begin with.
Thank you.
Of course.
What were you reading? Are you reading Twilight again?
No. I don't know what you're talking about, Father. She just quickly shoves it behind. Like, don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm not. Your secret's safe with me.
Thank you. Because as you say that, and as she finishes hiding the book, you see a man come in to the room. And this man, much older, kin, but older, seems very familiar with Sophie as he comes up and lightly bows to her. And then he bows to you. Hello, Father Casimir. I'm Reverend McCarthy. I tend to this cathedral.
Ah, Reverend! It is so finally nice to meet you. I've heard about you a little bit. All
What
good
thing?
things. All
Good.
good things.
I do apologize for not coming to meet you when you first came here. Much has come up.
Understandable. I've been quite busy myself. Sadly, I feel like I've not spent enough time here at the church, but I am also for hire. So, but I will definitely help out at the church while I can.
Any help you can give us is much appreciated and needed in these particular times. In all of my years in New York, I have not seen anything this horrific and tragic.
It is quite heartbreaking to see all these kind laid to slaughter. It's quite.
It is very. It is heartbreaking.
Yes.
Who knows? Like, we found the universal we found those 400 souls. Who knows how many more are still lost?
It's horrible. Well, hopefully you guys haven't had any trouble setting up, any ceremonies, or if you need any help with any ceremonies, or if I'm free.
You will be the first to be called. And you hear a knock on the door, just a soft knock. And Sophie goes to answer the door, and she doesn't open it enough so to see what's going on in the room. She just enough so that she can see who knocked. And you hear her talking to someone, a young man, but you can't see his face at this time. She reaches out. You see her take a note from this person. She closes it up, and she opens the note. You did mention that you needed some work. And she hands it off to you.
Of course, anything to help. He's gonna take it and open it.
This note isn't shorthand. It's very short, sweet, to the point. And all it says is a name and an address.
All right. And he's gonna fold it up and put it in his little, thing. Well, I'm going to go and take care. Unless you need any more help here, Sister Sophie, I don't mind. Here, how about I help you pick up this? I don't want you to. And he kind of leans in. He's like, go grab the book. I don't want him to.
20,000 just. And then, in a very elegant motion, one swift, elegant motion, she takes what part of her scarf, her jacket, by the desk. She makes one swift brush and pulls herself in, as if she's trying to warm herself up. And we saw the book where the book was is now gone.
All right. I'm gonna help her pick up the candles and stuff too. Reverend, do you have anything else that you need from me before I take care of this?
We never say no to helping with professionals.
I didn't hear that.
Let me go shut off my AC. We never say no to helping with the confessionals.
All right, I will take care of a few of them before I leave them.
We thank you. Between you and Sophie, you guys get the room cleaned up in a very short span of time. The Reverend has already gone, leaving for his office, and Sophie will take you right over to the booths and help you inside, and she'll go off finishing the work that she started at the altars.
All right.
Within a few minutes, someone walks inside and they sit down. And they struggle to speak. They're not sure what to say, how to come off. I'm sorry. I don't know how to talk about these things. I just needed someone to talk to, I guess.
That's perfectly fine. That's all I am here to do, is be God's ear. So feel free to say whatever is on your mind.
What if God doesn't want to hear?
That's what I'm for.
But would you be able to help bring my mind at ease?
I'm going to try my best.
I have this friend, and we've been meeting each other for a while, and I said some things to her. I don't know if it was a good idea to say those things. I don't know if she actually believes me or not. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But and I saw something not long after saying what I thought, and I don't know if I'm the cause of it. I don't know if I'm just going to keep bringing my friend trouble. She's already done so much for me, and I just don't know what to do. I don't want to see the psychiatrist on it because I don't think I'm crazy.
I see. I can tell that you're very troubled about this, and that you seem to be almost fighting yourself on the inside with this torment. No, I am probably... Can I tell you something? Maybe it'll make you feel a little bit better.
Anything.
It's hard to find real friends in this line of work. And I have recently made one as well. So I can understand your wanting to be there for them and protect them. But you shouldn't lie to people and being honest with yourself and with them is all that really matters. Does that make any sense?
It does, but what if there comes a time when if I find something out and I have to choose between her and family?
Family is very important.
That's what they keep saying.
But this is your life, young one. You only get one. Wherever your morals lie, that is my advice for you. If you care about this individual that much, and you feel as if you have to choose between the both of them, do what makes you happy. Don't do it out of fear. Your family should support you in all of your choices.
This would be a pretty big choice.
What is your name?
Let's just call me let's just call me Joe.
Joe. All right, Joe. And he's going to kind of pat around. I'm pretty sure in Confessional Boost they have like a little like Bible or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to tear off a little page of it and kind of, excuse me, burped, write down the peninsula and his room number and flip the paper in through the hole.
And he'll take it and
Unfortunately, I don't have a those things.
A phone?
Yes, that. Not yet. I'm from out of town. I'm a tourist, actually.
How are you from is this stereotypical to say like from one of the churches deep
No.
into the country?
No. What?
Like, are you from one of those like another church deep in another country?
I'm on missionary work. Churches, they exchange priests back and forth for information. Devote and different practices. So,
I learn something new every day.
yes. Well, if you ever need to talk, you can find me here. Until I get a cell phone, I don't. The technology, it's not really my thing. Devoting myself to my Lord's work. But whatever you choose, I think will be the right choice.
I hope so. I care about her a lot.
I can tell. Do you see yourself with her in the future? Maybe marriage? Have you talked to your family maybe about that?
Oh, I don't. She's a.
No. Seems
a
like
free,
you do like her.
I do. I really
Mm,
do.
mm.
She's such a free spirit that I don't think she'd be willing to settle.
You would be surprised. When I met my Mia Moore, she was just as free-spirited as well, but love is a very powerful emotion. I can tell you like her. I think your family would like her as well.
Maybe if they actually saw who she is and not what they think or assume she is, then maybe.
Maybe you should bring her to your family. Have you ever thought about having a dinner? Inviting her over?
In this moment, no, it's really complicated.
How complicated?
Very.
Very complicated.
Like we're two worlds complicated.
Two worlds complicated. I know that feeling as well.
Now I'll take what you said to heart, and I'll try. I guess that's all we can do, right?
Yes. And whatever you told her, if she hasn't gone away yet, then I don't think she's going to.
True.
Being honest is the most important thing. It is easier to ask for forgiveness.
That's true. Maybe if I don't make it too awkward, then it'll be easy to ask to apologize, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And what's the worst that could happen?
Uh, I mean a lot, but
I
we won't.
don't understand him. A lot. All right,
It,
it was a lot simpler back in my day. We just give a lady a flower and
I
court her.
wish. I wish that's how it worked anymore.
It's not how it works.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Times have definitely changed from when I was a younger man, though.
But thank you for
You're
listening.
welcome. You're welcome. My name is Father Casimir.
Casimir.
Casimir. That's right. And that is where I'm staying, as of now. When I get a phone, you can call me. And I don't do that thing that the kids do.
Texting?
Oh,
You might have
anyone
to.
can see that.
Yes, but you might have to at some point. Some things
Mm.
get automated messages for that you have to respond to.
Is there something that you can maybe do? Like hold it down and talk and send something? That would be so much easier than that texting thing.
I mean, technically, some
Mm.
phones have that feature.
Well, maybe I can get one of them.
You're so weird.
Weird. Well, I'm glad I could entertain you and make you smile. Laughter is good for the soul.
Yeah, yeah. Ah, shit, it's that late. I gotta get to class.
Class. All right. Well, good luck, Joe.
Thank you, Father Casimir.
You're welcome.
Rushes out of the booth, and you just hear his footsteps echoing out of the halls until the grand door shuts.
In these days.
And it's much like that for the next couple of people. People coming in, one for advice, another admitting to some adultery, some thieving. Then one by one, as it becomes daunting and draining, you hear a soft little knock outside the door.
Mm.
And Sophie opens it up.
Sister Sophie.
If you would like, we can have somebody else step in while you tend to your next mission. It is pretty. They're not so quiet about what they do.
What's not so quiet?
The kin.
No, they aren't, but I enjoy it.
I'm glad. It does keep us in touch with ourselves, doesn't it?
Yes. It's been a while since I've had confessional. Since I've gotten here. It's been very chaotic. I've only been around other kindred. It's been mentally draining.
I can imagine. It's kind of why I stay with the cathedral. I
Yes.
do think you both.
You want to know what my favorite Twilight character is?
Yes.
He's gonna lean in. And he's gonna go, Bella.
Really?
I think she's interesting. I like the way she describes how things are warm and cold. Or how things seem so dramatic and yet they're not. I don't really care for that Edward. Not on either team at all. I don't like him. Hopefully she kills him in the end.
She just bellows out in laughter, just this beautiful, melodious laughter where she covers her mouth. I would hate to disappoint you, so I'll let you read to the end.
I don't like that.
Well, thank you for stopping by.
Mhm.
Please come by more. We really love having you here.
I do. I like it here. It's reminds me of home.
And your room is still. You still have your key, right?
Yeah, and he's gonna pull it out.
Perfect. You're
Doesn't
welcome
leave
down
my side.
anytime you wish to come, whether I am here or not, whether the Reverend is here or not. You're more than welcome.
Oh, I do have one question for you, Sister Sophie. And he's going to pull out a piece of paper. I have a few questions, actually. Maybe not here, but the confessional booth is the most safe place to discuss this. Can we adjourn back to a more private area real quick?
Of course. Let's see, we can go back to the room we were in. We can go to my office area. How private?
Your office. This is going to be an important discussion.
Okay. And then she waves over the next priest to take over the confessional booth, and you both head over to her office. Once you're in, she closes the door behind her and she locks it.
Mm-hmm. Is this area in Alan's territory?
It is.
I'm afraid. I was afraid of that.
Why?
Alan told me some very disturbing news. I don't know if anybody else knows it yet, but he has told me that there is a hunter in the territory. And I'm afraid How much information can I give about this hunting society?
How much do you think Casimir would know?
I know it's a religious-based society.
Then...
And yeah, I think it's one of the oldest ones?
Yes, so you can give that information.
Okay, alright. I forgot the name, how to pronounce it. It starts with an L, right?
Saint Leopold.
Leopold. He has informed me that one of the hunters from Saint Leopold is here. In his area.
He did also warn me about that.
Yes.
And
Michael's fire.
And I'm conflicted. Because technically, from our own information, is this person, I don't know anything about it. I'm not high enough in ranking to know. But he is apparently a part of the Catholic faith, and that conflicts with how I feel.
I know. I'm so sorry, Sister Sophie. I just wanted to make sure that you and the Reverend had known to keep your heads low. Also, he pulls out that piece of paper with that weird picture that he stole from Angie Wolf's room and hands it over to her. Does this look familiar to you?
She takes it, walks over to her desk and sets it down, and begins to study over it. Perhaps that there's some things that remind me of. Do you mind if I keep this? I want to be sure before I say something wrong.
If it was anybody else, I would say no, but... He's gonna look at... Can you maybe, give me another copy of it? And draw a rough draft of it.
She goes over to one of the shelves and takes a piece of sketch paper. She takes that sketch paper, puts it on top of the drawing, and takes a piece of charcoal and just colors over that sheet. And when she pulls it back and flips over that page, it looks very close, very similar to the original. And she hands back your copy.
Mm.
I'll see if I can make anything up with this. I don't want too many copies to be spread around.
Okay. Oh, you know what? How about you take? Do you want the original? Would it be easier for you, or no?
It would be, but only if you're willing.
I'm going to keep it. You never know.
Of course.
Not saying that I don't trust you, but
All it takes is looking away at the right moments. She takes that copy, she folds it up carefully, and sticks it in her gown. I'll look over it when I have more time to spend researching. I'm sorry I couldn't give you much more.
that's all right. I would say, that I don't have one of them. When you have any information.
Do you know how to use the phone?
No. Kind of. Alan told me to hold it this way, not this way.
You hold it this way, not that way.
Yes, that's what. It's weird.
And she writes down the number to the cathedral, and she hands it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I already have the number to the peninsula. If you need to reach us for any reason, that's how to get a hold of this church.
All right.
And that 4-digit number underneath it, that's what you type in after to contact and she places her hand on her phone, how to contact my office.
All right. Well, I wish I could stay.
Yes.
We could talk more about how Bella's going to kill Edward, but...
We could,
Mm-hmm.
but you have much to do, and I don't want to take up your time.
Mm-hmm.
Please come back.
As soon as I can.
And that's all I ask.
I'm going to make haste out of the cathedral.
Within the hour, you arrive at the address that was written down.
Mm.
And though you were given it looks like you were just given a name, inside that little note, there was also a picture that was slipped in.
Mm.
And the name on this note is David. As you're scanning the streets, looking for this David, it takes a little bit to find him, but with careful perception, you're able to spot him in the crowd, and you begin to stalk him.
Mm. He's a kindred, right? Am I able to tell if he's kindred?
You see that he is kin.
Okay. Wait, kin? As in human?
Yes.
He's human.
He is
okay.
human.
Mm-hmm.
And you begin to follow him, coming in closer and closer. And as you get closer, you take in the sight before you. He's just this lone man, shaking, cold. By himself, you would expect someone who would look... this man that's wearing this very prestigious business suit and very well clean-cut hair to be upbeat, strong, proud, commanding. But he's just huddled over, hand folded into his coat, and just kind of muttering to himself, just dribbles over and over. How dare they fucking cross me? They'll pay for this. I'll make damn sure of it. As you're getting closer and closer, go ahead and make a strength plus roll.
Ooh. That'd be not my thing. And not kindred brawl, right?
Not kindred roll. Well, kindred roll.
Wait, I thought he wasn't a kindred. He's human, right?
Trust me.
Okay. So... gotta find my strength. This is gonna be fun. One success. I'm not strong, Taylor.
And as you're listening in, debating on how you're going to conduct your next actions, you're running through your mind. This is going against what you personally believe, but you're asked to do this. Should you actually do it? What should I do? And you feel this force right up against you. This powerful force that forces you down to the ground, arms wrapping tightly around you. The only thing that you can hear at that point, Daddy! I told you I'd find you! And the man, David, looks around, his eyes just like, what the fuck? As you both see this blonde man, tattoos all over his body, and just this black leather jacket, beaming with happiness. I told you!
He's gonna grab it. Oh my goodness, I missed you. What the hell are you doing?
You told me to find you, Daddy!
Yes.
Daddy, here.
Yes. Shush. Get off me.
What this is? Just take it somewhere else.
I'm
I already
sorry.
have enough on the fucking plate.
I'm sorry about that. Get up.
And David, quickly, now with haste, rushes off.
I'm gonna grab him, and we're gonna go to somewhere quiet for a minute. I'm dragging him along.
Where are we going, Daddy?
Anywhere but here right now.
Oh, and where are we gonna go?
Where have you been?
I've been looking for you. Where have you been?
Yeah, where have you been? I told you to find me. You. What took you so long?
What took you so long?
Mm.
I found you. I did exactly what you asked of me.
That's alright. Well, I was in the middle of something.
What's more important than me? I thought I was important.
You are so important, but... And he's gonna show him this picture of this individual. Do you see this man?
He takes it and he looks at it.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, maybe. What's in it for me?
I can't. Damn this child! Okay. So you're the one OC I'm gonna be flustered with. You're more trouble than Miss Rochelle sometime.
Who is Rochelle?
part of my coterie. Do you have a coterie?
No,
No,
I don't.
you don't. Unfortunately, I do. Lucky.
He wants me. You're the lucky one.
Well, I want you.
You do?
Yes. And right now, I need your help. And if you can help me, I'll give you a gift. You like tattoos? I'll give you a new one for free, and it won't even hurt you.
I'm in. I'm in. What do you need me to do?
I need you to kill that man.
How quickly?
Painlessly.
So fun.
I know, it never is, but make sure you don't break the masquerade.
More about the Daddy.
I think you hang out with Miss. Do you know Miss Essence?
The social media influencer?
Maybe. Is her last name Cobra?
Yes.
Yes.
I sometimes see her video. She's really. Oh, how do you think I got this makeup to be so good?
I've heard she does that thing, makeup. It looks really well. You help me. Yes. Yes. I think she would like you. She calls me that as well. She said that's what priests are called.
Of sorts. The ones that we like.
Okay.
And so he immediately turns, looks right at David. Eyes scanning everywhere. Up, down, and then you see him. It looks like he's calculating. His eyes moving, taking in everything before he starts moving. As he moves in, his hands come out of his pockets, begins moving faster, faster, within human speed. And then he runs up, and you can't hear what he's saying to David, but he manages to catch up to David. And though David seems off-put for a moment, he gets lured aside by your young blonde friend. And then within minutes, he's down the alley, out of sight, out of mind. And the minutes trickle on by. It's been a while.
I use Cloak of Shadows. I'm gonna step in the other alleyway and just use Cloak of Shadows.
And you're gonna go over?
No, I'm not gonna watch.
Okay. But when this area is clear of kin for the moment, you see your blonde friend come out, hands and fingers coated in blood, his face just smeared, teeth, tongue stained with it. And he looks behind, and he walks right out, and he begins looking towards the alley where you and he were, and he starts heading that way, licking his fingers as he goes. And he gets to a certain point. And then he pauses. I know you're around, Daddy. I feel you. Where are you? And he begins circling.
I can't hide from him. Damn it! It's the bond, isn't it? Okay. Uncloak of Shadow. Question! Did I have any dreams from him? Do I know anything about him? Or not yet?
These dreams, they're a lot fainter than they were with Alan. Alan's blood is strong. His blood, you felt, was far less connected to Cain than Alan's was, but you could still see some things. You see, you are surrounded by a crowd, a group of people, everyone having a good time, dancing and partying, and you think this noise, it's music, maybe, but it's blaring, it's shouting, it's nothing like you're familiar with back at home at all. It's not peaceful, it's just chaotic but powerful. You whirl around, and before you see, at first, his torso, and then you look up. You can't quite make out this face, but this person smiles. You can tell they're smiling. And behind that smile, you see the fangs, the unmistakable sight of a kindred's fangs before you flash back.
I'm gonna pretend that happened as I was doing Cloak of Shadows. I got all that information now.
I did what you asked.
Did you take care of the body?
Oh, yes, I did. Don't you worry. Aren't you proud of me?
Yes. Very. What? You
don't look proud. Did I do something wrong?
No. What? How old are you?
Gosh. It's been, I think am I 25? 26? No. Maybe? It's been a while. 30, maybe. Oh no, that sounds too old for me. I'm already old. Am I old? Am I old?
I don't know. I can't tell. But you don't taste young, so. But you don't taste ancient either.
Am I offended? I don't know if I'm offended.
You're middle-aged. You're fine.
You're daddy, so I guess it. Nah, I won't. That's too easy.
Wait. He's gonna grab his face. Did you have any dreams about me? What did you see?
The only thing a naked lady?
It's at least that one. Were your eyes up here and not down there?
My eyes are right on you.
Okay, alright. Well, at least this was taken care of. Alright.
So, this really nice tattoo shop. It's in this really cool mall. It sounds sketchy, but it's really
yes. Okay. He's gonna grab him by the arm. There's a few things I need to do before I give you this tattoo. We have to go back, and I have to. He's gonna stop. I don't think Alan would appreciate this right now.
Why do you care
Can you
about
give me? Do you know where I can get some candles in a private area? Salt, candles.
Funny you should mention that shop that I was saying. It's right in that area.
All right. Also, random. I need something better than this. And he holds up this snake knife.
Oh, I know exactly where you can get something.
Yes. And Miguel.
That's not my name. I'm Tucker.
You.
What?
I'm pretty sure it was Miguel, but
I don't know what you're talking about. You should just forget about it.
oh god damn it. What do I have to roll?
You are going to roll your wits and resolve.
Oh god. Right. Oh shit. So this is gonna be awkward. I got a crit, but I also got a beast.
But you successfully got it on. You
Yeah,
critted on.
I got the crit on 2 black dice, but
So you don't fail.
no.
We're good. We're good. So what did you get a total of in successes?
2 crits. Well, actually, there's 3 unks. So 2 are crits, 1 is an unk, but my red dice is a skull.
Between the two of you, you rolled pretty good too, but your crit canceled that out. Between the two of you, your mind begins to feel hazy. It's almost like this mist that starts to cloud over you. But then you shake it off slightly, and in your mind's ear, you hear your beast beginning to bubble up. How fucking dare this little brat? He tried to dominate us.
I know, he did.
He needs to be put in his place, I think.
I'm gonna put his hand on his shoulder. Miguel, don't do that again. Not to me.
No one's ever figured it out before. How'd you know? What did you do?
Let's go. Take me to this tattoo shop.
You're not gonna get out of it that easily.
And you don't try to dominate people. That is especially me.
I will dominate who I feel.
No, you will not. You are... I will ground you. I will not give you this tattoo, young man.
No, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't. Don't do that to anyone in my coterie either. Oh god, I would never hear the end of it. Or Alan. Oh, what am I even going to tell them? Let's go.
He's a prude.
Alan?
Yes.
He's just old. Older than me.
As long
In
as
fact,
I'm your favorite.
some say that I am a prude.
I think anybody who I get to call daddy is not a prude.
I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll use that on the others.
As you're walking off, Essence, it's been a long night. Yesterday was such a long night. We were waking up and just trying to forget about it for the moment. You wanted to relax, wanted to have a little bit of fun. You know what? It's been a while since you went shopping. It's been a while since you just splurged on yourself. You wanted something new. Maybe a new dress, new pair of earrings, some rings. I mean, you are Essence Cobra, but maybe you can have a little bit more than just the Cobra. Maybe something fun. Spice it up. Keep them on their toes. You wake up Isaac, you get him all ready to take you to this little mall, this fun little mall. It's a little upper end, but it has just about everything you're looking for, much like the Grand Terminal. Got just about everything you can think of. You get there, you arrive. Would you want to have Isaac with you, or no?
Yeah, he'll be around, but like at a distance.
He'll keep a respectful distance, his own eyes peering around. Not as obvious of a bodyguard figure. He wants to keep it a little bit on the down low, but he's making sure that no one is going to come and ambush you. It ain't going to be like last night. And as you're going in, both of you go ahead and make a wits and awareness.
My favorite.
This one singular dice.
It's one of my strongest assets. Yay!
I got a blank on red.
Oop. Awareness and wits?
Yeah.
Yes.
I checked that one. I rolled 4 dice. I have all blanks.
We love this.
You want us to
Let me reroll my singular die.
Hey, Daddy. Isn't that Essence Cobra? Oh my fucking god, that's Essence Cobra.
He's gonna put his mouth over and kind of pull him back. Listen, what is your name again? You said Miguel, right?
It's Tucker.
Tucker, okay. She is part of my coterie, alright? So don't try to, like, bombard her. I know she's this... What did you call her again?
This big ass influencer.
I don't know what that is, but try to be nice. Okay? And then we can go get the stuff for your tattoo.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. And Casimir is gonna walk over to Essence. Arm with him.
He's just clinging right onto you, holding onto your arm.
Right. Having fun here.
Essence will be at a shop looking at the new fall outfits, looking at the sweaters.
Miss Essence. And he's gonna take his hand away and bow.
She'll turn around on her heel and go, Cassie!
Miss
Cassie,
Essence.
Daddy Cassie.
I didn't know you had a son.
Yes, my name's Andrew.
Andrew? Nice to meet you, Andrew. I am Essence.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you too, like, big fan.
Just
I inspired the makeup look after you.
I love
What do you
it.
think?
That was like, it's very sharp. I love it. Very clean finish.
Thank you.
Yes, this is Andrew.
Andrew.
Yes.
You're
He wanted to meet you. He is my guest from your party.
Oh.
Mm.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Is he part of the
Where?
group now?
No, he's part of my group.
I'm with the cool kids.
Excellent. So what are you doing here at the mall?
We're looking for a few items
Like,
for me to perform a ritual on
Andrew?
Mm-hmm. He wants another tattoo.
He promised me a tattoo if I did something for him. I think I did good.
What do you do?
Well,
Don't talk about it.
Oh, you don't trust me?
No, we don't talk about that. You hear me? It's not that we don't trust you.
But
We don't ever know who's listening. Not in public.
okay, fine. Keep your secrets. But I can
No.
help you guys with shopping.
we get to go shopping with Essence Cobra. Daddy, you didn't tell me this was gonna be fun.
Mm.
Yeah, let's go,
Yeah.
Daddy.
Anything for you. You did good today, so we'll get you your tattoo and send you on your way.
Send me on my way.
Send you on your way.
Where are you staying at, Andrew?
Please.
I don't
stay
think.
there.
Oh,
It's
I
kinda
don't
hard.
think Rochelle would appreciate a stranger staying with her.
We have the hotel.
Yes, but I left Rochelle a note saying that I would try to be back. So I have to return her mother's utensil.
You stole something from our house?
I borrowed.
Without asking.
I fully
It
intend to give it back and left a note.
You, Father, for I have not sinned today.
And that's why we need a new one of them as well. So,
But you do have a place to stay, right, Andrew?
Long enough to sleep during the day, but nowhere else really. No one really likes me. I don't know why.
Oh,
I know I'm at shit, but
Guys, we can't let him live on the street. Like, she just, like, picks, like, touches Andrew's head and, like, hold him deeply like she did with Rochelle the first time. Like, look at this face. He can stay at the club in one of the hotel rooms.
perfect. The club, yes. You can stay there.
I get to stay with you?
Like, you could, like, you be treated
Wait,
like
no,
a
you're not
VIP.
staying with me. You're not staying with me at the hotel room. But I will spend one night with you at the club a week if you're good.
Then I will be.
We need boundaries.
We kind of broke those boundaries, didn't we? That
You
night.
definitely broke them this evening.
Essence just looks between them. We can co-parent if we need to.
If you promise to be good, then maybe I will bring you back to the hotel, but you need to be nice to Alan.
Does Alan
I
want him at the hotel?
I don't think Alan does. Not after what I saw that night. And the way you said that rude thing about Alan, that's not very nice.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Be nice to Alan.
What's in it for me?
Maybe I'll give you more. Don't you want to see more?
Yes.
I would love to see more of you as well, but you need to be nice to Alan and his hotel. No more causing trouble.
I will be fairly nice.
Well, that's a start.
To him.
And the hotel. He likes that hotel.
I know.
Mm-hmm. And the hotel.
I won't cause too much trouble to the hotel.
That's my boy. There you go. He's gonna give him a hug.
I'll
And
give you a
he'll-
shout out on my page if you be good.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. I always stick to my deals, as long as everybody sticks to theirs.
I'll be on my best behavior then.
Good.
Excellent.
So, show us where these candles are in.
What
Yes.
kind of candles you're looking for? Like there's Bath and Body Works, there's Yankee candle.
Oh my gosh, we need the sweater weather one.
Sweatwear is a beautiful scent nowadays. And I think they're having a sale where you get like 3 candles for $15 right now.
Oh. Daddy, you've forgiven me my tattoo, then I want those scents.
Okay, all right. As long as they're solid color, it shouldn't matter. So, can we even smell? Can you smell? Can you smell? I know that you can.
Last I checked, I can smell.
Can you what?
Smell.
How good are you at smelling, though?
I think I'm pretty good.
All right. Then show me your favorite candles. We'll get candles, salt, a new weapon.
Yes. We'll get to do all the things.
What kind of weapon
Where should we go?
Getting?
The stabbity stabbity.
I can't keep carrying my old one around. It's too big. I need a new, more compact weapon.
Of course, it's too big.
That's what she said.
Anyway,
Right, Daddy?
Anyways, down this way for the candles.
Okay.
Let's go! And he just starts quickly skipping ahead.
Essence.
Casimir.
We need to keep him away from the hotel.
Okay. We can keep him at the club.
Okay. All right. It's very important. The Carmilla cannot know about him.
Is there a reason why?
Yes. I don't think he's from their sect.
What sect is he from? What's his clan?
I haven't asked him yet, but I know that he is definitely not Carmilla base.
Yikes.
Alan gave him to me to get rid of, but I need him,
Yikes.
so we need to make sure that he is entertained. And the more I feed him, the harder it's going to be. So,
I can give him Nicole on the nights that we can watch him at the club, make sure, and make sure to put a bodyguard there too.
okay.
I'll make sure Nicole texts me to make sure that he stays there.
Also, I need one of those things.
Which one of things? Phone.
Yes, that. I want a simple one.
I'll make sure
I
you get
don't.
a simple one. Did you get your
All right.
candles?
Hmm?
Did you get your candles?
I don't know which candles do you. I'll let him pick. I'm gonna let him pick.
They got mahogany and the silver leather. They have one left. I managed to guess.
We are lucky.
Very. Are they? Okay. They're perfect. Now we need salt. Is there maybe that in this?
There's absent salt over here.
I need black and white.
She picks up the one that's called salted pepper bath salt. Here you go.
All right. Well, then this'll do. I'll go pay for this.
No, I'll pay for it. Be my treat.
We're not going to the tattoo parlor, are we?
You're getting your tattoo.
Probably not a parlor.
In fact, it'll even be matching with Miss Essence. Isn't that exciting? Matching tattoos.
Oh,
We
yes.
have matching tattoos.
Well, about to be.
That's, I'll forgive you, Daddy Casimir.
Just to welcome you to the group.
The group?
Everyone with the matching tattoos.
I'm part of the group?
Everybody but me. I don't have that tattoo.
Why don't you have that tattoo?
Yeah,
I can't give it to myself.
Why not?
And maybe I'll teach you how to do it someday. But it only works on your... Remember? So I don't think it would work on me.
We can always go to the tattoo parlor for you and actually put it on there.
Would it match ours?
Yes.
Then yes, we'll need to do that.
All right. When we're done with what we're doing here, maybe. Not tonight. No. I mean, you and me, Essence, our job.
She just took the stuff out of Casimir's hands and went to the counter to go pay for them.
I've never been part of a group before. This is exciting.
I know it is. Miguel.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's Josh.
Josh. I feel like I'm getting old age. Sorry. Are you sure it's Josh?
Yes, it's Josh.
Does Essence hear this conversation?
I think we'd be close enough without a roll.
She's like, I thought it was Andrew.
What are you talking about?
Don't gaslight me.
I don't know what you're talking about. It is Josh.
How about a nickname?
What kind of nickname?
I don't know. What kind of nickname do you want?
Something you want to change.
It's not changing.
It is.
What do you mean? I told you, it's Tucker.
You just said it was Josh.
Did I?
You can't gaslight the gaslight queen here.
He's gonna grab him.
Ryan.
Shh. We're going to call you Lunchbox.
I don't know. Isn't I?
A lunchbox, eh?
It's cute. Reminds me of someone I know back at home. It would bring me such joy. He's gonna pull him in close.
Hi. And he's just gonna hug you back. Tightly.
We love a father and son moment. So, Cashmere, what's his real name?
Lunchbox.
I said real name, I'm a nickname. Don't try to gaslight me too.
Shh. He's trying to, as he's holding him, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't do lunch. I don't know if I like Lunchbox.
What's your Instagram's username so I can follow you?
He pulls out his phone, I don't remember. Do I have an Instagram? And he's trying to find his phone. When he pulls it out, he's just browsing through it. It's I think do I have one? Yes. And it's just the generic username without the picture 3412 and a bunch of numbers.
She'll follow it just in case.
Yeah.
Miho. We'll call you that.
Miho.
All right? Yes.
What's that mean?
It's a secret. You don't know Spanish?
No.
I do.
You know what Miho means.
Yeah.
All right. That's all that matters. We'll call you that.
Miho.
What's it mean, Miss Essence?
Are you gonna tell me your real name?
I did.
Didn't know.
You have to be good. And we have to finish this shopping so we can get your tattoo.
Yes. Yes, let's hurry. He grabs your the fabric of your scarf and he gently, at first gently, let's go. And he gets excited and then he darts off with you in tow. Hurry, Miss Essence, we gotta go!
She'll follow behind, her high heels clicking and echoing down the hall.
You're the first to give me, like, a name. You know that? I like that. Better than what they keep calling me.
Who's they?
You say.
Just other
Kindred.
adults.
How old are you again?
I think 25, 26, 30. I've traveled a lot. I don't.
Where are you from?
Should we do this
California.
interrogation now?
I remember.
No,
how-
we'll talk more later. Let's continue showing me where this knife is, and when we get your tattoo, we can talk all night
All-
long. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabs your hand too, Essence, and then pulls you guys towards the what he calls the weapon shop. It has a bunch of different, like, real weapons, some replicas and props of different video games, animes, movies, some real world weapons of really high grade quality, and then you have your generic army knives, Swiss army knives, some really beautifully crafted knives with very intricate wooden handles and little bits and bobbles like that.
I feel like Eric used to work here.
Who's Eric?
One of my groupies.
Can I be a groupie?
You wouldn't want
No, you're my groupie.
that.
You know it, even better.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Miss Essence.
Focus.
Oh.
It's okay.
Focus. Focus.
I only could
Send.
hold 3 at a moment.
Focusing.
Focusing. What? He's gonna walk up and look at all the different weapons.
Is there something special you're looking for?
Something smaller, more sleek.
What about that? And the knife he points to. It's small, like it's compact. It's small enough for you to be able to carry around without any problems, any issues. The blade itself, it's like a stainless steel, but then the handle, it's a beautiful mahogany handle with a really pretty engraving inside of it.
Ooh, that's gorgeous.
Yes, I think I want to hold it.
And the clerk that's running the store right now, he hears you. And he heads over. I assume you're over the age of 21?
Look at his face.
You're flattering me, right? Right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Old man.
He takes out the blade and then hands it over.
I want to swing it around in my hand for a minute and see if I like it.
You look like you've handled a blade before.
Mm-hmm. I'm a collector.
Ah. It's rare to find like a decent collector around here anymore. Everyone's going for the firearms these days.
Ugh. I like them.
What do you think of this one?
I'm testing how much it weighs too.
It's got a good weight to it. It feels similar, if not slightly lighter, but it feels similar to yours.
Mm. It has a fondness to it. And he's gonna put it down. How much is it?
I can cut you a deal. Normally it's 1,000. I can. What about 650?
All right. Pull out my wallet. I'm using my. No. Okay. I need a weapon. They will understand. I'm using my coterie card from the church.
Clark is gonna take it. He's gonna go over to the register and run it. He's gonna be over there for a couple of minutes, making sure everything goes through right. I think it looks really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Can I hold it?
No,
Why?
because I need to purify it first.
Why do you need to purify it?
Because it's been in this store and probably handled by others. I want to get the bad juju off of it first.
But it's a knife. You're gonna be doing bad juju with it anyway.
Mm-hmm. That's why we need to purify it.
So you're getting rid of bad juju to make more bad juju.
Kind of.
I'm failing to understand your intent.
You'll understand if you ever learn that. Maybe I'll teach it to you. Maybe.
Like a one-on-one lesson?
Maybe. I don't know if you can learn it, but we'll find out.
I am offended. I can learn it.
You can?
I can.
Hmm.
You're doubting me.
He doubts everyone.
I do. I would like to be proven wrong, though.
Now, I will be happily proving you wrong. And the clerk comes over, he hands you back your credit card, and takes the blade, and then he begins packaging it up, wrapping it up nicely in foam and tape and in a box before handing it off to you. Make sure you keep it all sealed in until you get home. You know how New York and its regulations are.
Of course.
Of course. Can I buy that dual blade? She points at the glass.
Now, I assume you're over the age of 21, ma'am?
It's like, yes, I am.
Alright. He takes it out, sets it down. Do you want to test it out first? See how it feels?
Nah, I trust, yeah.
Will this be cash or credit?
Credit. She
Credit.
hands over the card.
And that'll be 600.
Thank you.
He goes over, slides the card through, makes sure everything runs correctly, no issues. Comes back and he wraps it up just as nicely and neatly as Cashmere's before handing the box off to you.
Thank you.
And same thing as before. Make sure it stays sealed until you get home.
Thank you.
Can I have one, Daddy?
No.
You have to prove me wrong first, and then I'll get you one.
Fine. Where are we going? I want my tattoo.
We need to find a safe, open place away from others, so
Rochelle's house?
I don't think Rochelle would appreciate that. Do you know anywhere we can go that's away from others?
I mean, I've been staying at this abandoned warehouse.
Perfect.
You just gonna trust that?
You think I would lie?
No. But an abandoned warehouse?
You let me
There's
rephrase
3 of
that then.
us.
Mm-hmm.
Let me rephrase that. You think I would want to hurt him?
Mm-hmm. There's 3 of us. We're not alone.
Technically 4.
4? Oh. Really?
Yeah. Over there. She points behind her to show Isaac.
Isaac is standing off. His arms crossed, and he gives a nod to you, Casimir.
I didn't even see Isaac.
That means he's doing a great job.
I've been a little distracted. Yes, we will go to this abandoned warehouse.
Oh man, I should have cleaned up my place first. I feel a little. Oh, don't judge.
No judgment.
I'm gonna buy me these shoes
Yeah.
real quick.
It is not that dirty.
I'm not wearing heels to a warehouse.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Those are nice heels.
Mm-hmm. She went
We
on
don't
ahead
want.
and took them off and put it in her purse and walked barefooted out of the store.
And he quickly goes to follow Essence for a moment before then he looks back. Come on! You gotta go.
Gonna follow.
It's like we can canon that she bought her boots and stuff if we want to skip to the warehouse.
Okay. And so, I assume you all are gonna let Isaac drive you guys?
Like that's fine with me.
So the
Yep.
drive over there with Mr. Josh's instructions takes about 20 minutes tops. You get there, and it is an abandoned warehouse just on the edge of Manhattan, just past Alan's territory. Just kind of like away from anything that would have to do with him. It for the most part, like, it looks like nobody's been there, operated, worked on it for years. At least not until Josh opens the door. And you see that it's kind of being built up in a way. It has a kind of bed, a kind of little kitchen area. Just maybe that's a dining room and a living room combo. You can't be sure. A lot of it is boxes and old bedding and some clothes and plates and just the semblance of trying to live a life out here. This is it.
Can I beckon a dog to scan the area, make sure it's clear?
Yes.
Cool. Well, there roll.
It takes a couple of minutes to lull the dog out, but when it comes, it's this adorable little golden retriever mix. Absolute precious little thing. It looks like it's someone's. Like the dog just got off the leash and has been running around for the night. He goes up to you, wagging his tail just enthusiastically. Hi! Hi! Hi!
That's like, she'll like rub his face. It's a good boy. I need you to check the area. If you see one suspicious, please bark.
Bark good?
Bark good.
Bark good! And he just goes and skitters off, looking around. You just hear his tail a wag, and you hear the chain of his collar just going, his panting just filling your ears. He's a happy boy. He goes around once and then twice, and then he starts going halfway. He turns right back around at you. No bad.
She's like, thank you. She'll like give him a treat or something from her purse.
And he's just loving on you, giving you kisses, hugs. And he does a quick little spin around. Good boy?
Good boy. Now go back to your owner, okay? I don't want them to think I kidnapped you.
Bye-bye. And then he just runs off.
Alright, we wasn't followed.
I told you it would be fine.
You can never know.
Miss Essence, that's unique. I didn't know you had that ability. Although, it makes sense now.
I'm just an animal lover.
Cobras.
Yeah.
Could I do that too? Could I do that too?
What clan
thought we
are
could
you
do-
part of?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't want to tell.
You can see that he looks genuine and serious. I don't know. Anytime I've tried, I was just trash or scum.
Oh, you're not trash or scum.
I'm gonna start setting up for the ritual.
Okay.
It's like
That's when
Essence will take a seat on one of the makeshift boxers chairs.
And he'll also go to sit down, but closer to Casimir. And he's just watching him. I've never seen a tattoo done like this, but are you trying to summon Satan or something?
That's what I thought at
Maybe.
first.
Yeah, but he's a priest. Do priests? Can they? Daddy, are you a Satanist?
He's just gonna quietly keep doing the ritual. Setting up and now pouring the salt around.
So since we're alone, are you guys gonna tell me what this mission was?
I'm trying to be good.
I'm here on missionary work from... I told you that as well. Besides just working for the individuals that we were hired for.
That's just it? You just gonna tell me? No details?
I mean, if you want to know, I suppose. You may tell her, Miho. I trust her.
That's why we're friends.
I'm focusing on setting this up.
Just this sinister smirk crosses his lips. Teeth show. He took care of someone.
Oh.
They were delicious.
Oh, what did they do?
I don't know. Was this the Casimir might know, but it was this man, well dressed. Didn't have a hand, which was weird, but clearly a human. And his blood just tasted absolutely of
Was his name
just.
David?
I don't know. I just saw a picture. Daddy Casimir, what was his name?
Hmm?
What was his name?
I'm not quite sure. I have a... Here. Here's the picture.
Essence took the picture. That's David. He worked for me.
Should I be? I
She gave the picture back.
and that's when Andrew goes right over to Casimir.
Sit down.
He'll sit right away.
It's been an exhausting night already.
I think it's been the most exciting.
It really has. I have no sympathy for the man. I'm the one that did cut off his hand, after all.
Dude, you're hardcore. You have hardcore friends.
Let's not talk about hurting a kin.
But why? There are prey.
I don't believe in that.
How come?
Because I don't.
Well, there has to be more to it than that.
Maybe if you stick around long enough, we'll find out more.
Then I'll stick around.
But yes, but right now we need to focus. I need to focus.
I guess I'll stick around too.
Mm.
And I have to let my brother know that we need a new David.
Tell him I'm really sorry for his loss, and there's going to be a really sad look on his face.
Don't be sad. He screwed us over. That's why he lost a hand.
So, about that, Miss Essence.
Okay. He was gonna get his comeuppance anyway.
Then Andrew is gonna look up at you. Did I do something wrong?
No, you did what you were told to do.
Yeah, he did nothing wrong.
But you're sad.
Mm.
That's just his face.
No. That I
Shush! Don't! No. No. I need to focus. Stop.
Getting emotional here.
Mm-hmm. I know you know. But she doesn't know.
Now I'm kind of feeling left out.
Have you ever been bonded with anybody, Miss Essence?
What kind of bonding?
This kind of bonding. Like Alan's bonding.
Then no.
Do you want to know a secret, both of you?
Sure.
yeah.
When you bond with someone, usually the eldest engulfs the youngest, if that makes sense. That's the reason why I stopped. Eating from Alan, I didn't want to lose myself in Alan. You can feel me right now. That doesn't mean you need to tell everyone everything that I am feeling. Okay? Or everything that you see from me. All right?
But I
It's
want you.
ours? No. No one else's. Ours.
But I want you to be happy.
What would make me happy is to perform this ritual and give you your tattoo, as I promised.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, be careful when doing that, Miss Essence. Don't do it.
I won't. But since you're here, did you get the email from Alan?
With what phone?
Oh, you are correct. I thought you had a phone.
Did we get a phone while we were? I can't remember if we got one
I
now.
thought I thought Kaden gave you a phone.
No,
Kane did not.
Caden said he needed to learn how to use the phone.
The hotel
But he
phone.
needs the hotel phone.
The hotel
No.
phone.
No, I don't have one of them yet.
I was like, oh yeah, I forget that you guys don't have phones.
No, we don't.
Rochelle. But I went out to the college, and I think I had a run-in with the werewolf.
A girl?
A what?
Gesundheit?
Bless you.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're called.
They're called.
Miss Sophie informed me of that.
Who's Sophie?
My teacher.
Just your teacher?
The hot nun.
The what?
The what?
Mm-hmm. Please don't talk about Sophie that way. She is a lovely woman. Individual. Kindred. I need to focus. You turn around.
Who?
Miho, turn around.
But I'm the important one, right?
Yes, you are. Mm-hmm.
He'll
Turn around.
He'll turn around.
Okay. And he's gonna take out his hand. And you know what? No, I'm not gonna use my knife this time. Because I need to perform a ritual on it. He's gonna bite down. Because then I can just close the wound. And put a drop of blood on the the salt. And it's going to light all the candles. And then the red glow is going to perform. And he's just going to wait for a second.
How would you do that? This is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
By this point, Essence, you get a message back from your brother. Why do we need a new David? What happened?
This time it wasn't my fault. I can say that with confidence.
Okay.
He was murdered. By who?
Oh.
Don't know.
Oh, goody. Is that another Jack the Ripper thing?
Maybe.
God damn it. Okay. I'll add that to the list of things I need to collect. One private investigator. One private investigator. Okay. We'll add that to the list. And where are you?
Safe.
Incredibly vague.
Do you really want to know?
Do I really want to know?
No.
Okay.
You may have a guest at the club soon. Maybe.
Another white.
No.
Okay. As long as it's not another white,
No, just somebody
don't.
staying in one of the rooms.
Then you know what? Kindred.
Kindred.
Oh, thank God. That would be a nice change. A nice, normal kindred. I can handle that.
Normal.
He doesn't catch that part. Okay. You be safe. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. I love you. Hearty. It's a heart emoji.
You concern me.
You concern me.
And then you'll say, yes, love you and bye. For Tucker, he's just looking at the candles all lit up. He's focusing on the red glow. Just mesmerized. Like, not like Alan. Where Alan seemed to have that fascination, that mesmerization. This one seems to be just like, this is so fucking cool.
Turn around, please. Face me again.
He'll turn around, look at you with this bright, doe-eyed smile.
Please hold still.
And he'll hold as still as he can.
Or sit down. It'll do, if that helps. You can sit down. And he's gonna lift his hands up, and then that's when the blood bubble forms.
Wow. What's wrong?
Oh shit, I forgot. I gotta do a arousal check for this. I knew I was forgetting something. I don't get hungry. Thank God. I was like, oh wait, I am forgetting something.
Yeah.
What am I forgetting? We're good.
Okay. What's wrong?
Trying to focus.
He's just gonna look at you with that disbelief. He doesn't say anything. He just stares.
I'm gonna close my eyes, locking him out as much as I can, just to do this.
And that's when he'll look over to Essence. How long have you two been friends?
A month.
Really? A month? You've been here for a month?
Hmm?
I think he's mad at Essence.
No, he's just always grumpy.
Should I be worried?
No.
I don't think I'm.
You should be just fine. You little yandere, you.
I feel like that's a reference.
No.
What's it mean?
Are you gonna tell me your real name? Nope. Anyways. Got that out of the way.
I told you it's
You can't even keep up with
Lucian.
your own lie. It will bubble
I don't
out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Deny, deny, deny.
Miho, what? What was that place?
Which one?
With all the people?
I've been to a lot of places.
And the kindred.
I
It
always
was
ask,
loud, there were a lot of people, and there was music. I think it was music. It was not very good music.
it was good music. I tell my parents all the time, it was good music.
Where was that? Now that we're here, where are you from?
California.
California. Do you know where that is?
Yes. Are you from what city?
You're not gonna send me back, are you?
There's nowhere to even send you to.
I wouldn't send you away.
You promise.
I promise. Not after I'm giving you this tattoo. Are you going anywhere?
And you're part of the group. No, stick to my ideals. Just don't double cross me.
LA.
LA. How'd you end up here?
I kept walking. Occasionally got a bus who was within the city, an Uber. I just kept running.
From
My parents.
Are your parents kindred too? Or no?
No. I don't remember that night too well. Just that it felt so good. And then when I woke up, I was told the same thing, that I wouldn't be left behind. And I was. You're not gonna leave me behind?
Did your sire tell you that?
Yes.
Who's your sire? Do you know?
I never
Male, female, no name. What they looked like, what they could do.
Let's not
You can do
overwhelm
dominate.
him.
don't remember.
Let's not overwhelm.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. We won't leave you. We have a new one in our group named Rochelle, and like we promise we won't leave her, and then we won't promise we won't leave you.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Just don't double cross me. You'll be fine.
I have no reason to.
And then I'm glad we're in good terms.
Alan told me to say this a little bit different than what I was going to. Can I see your hip?
Of course you can. No stand up. No lower your pants a little bit. Just enough. for his hip to see his hips. It's beginning to form. You see like the outline, some of the shading happening. Like that's gonna be the tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
You not have a business out of this. You make so much money doing that. Tattoos.
Unfortunately, it's only this shape. I don't think I could do any like yours.
Yeah, these took quite a while to do.
Yeah, mine did too.
Mine's did as well, but I think mine's was done the old-fashioned way. Compared to
Good old stick and poke.
more like burn.
Oh, yeah, branded.
You're pretty hardcore yourself. You guys are all hardcore.
Don't know ways to survive New York.
That's true. Where were you from, Casimir? Like, I saw, but I can't quite... It looks like the desert, but... There's a lot of desert.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you guess the right one, I'll tell you.
Oh, damn it. There's a lot of... I'm... Not California, I assume.
No, that one's off the list.
Mm. New Mexico?
Maybe.
No, there's just a yes or a no.
Maybe.
That's not a yes or a no.
You can't tell. You should be able to tell.
You didn't know where I was from.
Hmm?
I had it to you. That's not fair.
Santo de Malan. Taylor, I cannot pronounce it.
No, people.
Wait, Taylor.
Like, Tyler!
Also,
It's
can I have Essence explore the building?
Sure.
Cool.
Where do you go first?
What kind of like defined locations can she go? Because I want her to figure out the building or if anything stands out to her.
Install a single level warehouse. There's no upstairs to it. It kind of acts like a studio of sorts, but it's on like a larger scaled studio. There is some separation between like the bedroom and the living area, but it's just mainly by a curtain. And there is one more larger curtain, but it's separated by like old equipment, like farming equipment and factory equipment on one side, and then this side was dedicated to a revamping of the area. You see, like, in the midst of what may technically be a mess, there are a bunch of notebooks and papers, magazines of different tattoos of different places, like if you were traveling across the country, we would have picked up. And you see, like, there is a duffel bag near the bed. Just from a glance, like, it's open. It's not really out of the way or hidden. But it's mostly clothes and just kind of toiletries, like sprays and hairbrushes, hairspray, that sort of thing. It just, from the appearance, it looks like a runaway trying to survive in the city.
Is there like any graffiti marks, any tags, or anything?
Not nothing really. You're looking for like gang related activity?
Yeah.
There are some. Go ahead and make me an intelligence and streetwise.
Do I add red eye?
Yes.
I got 3 onks and 1 beast.
This area was once occupied by an old gang that your particular group forced out of Manhattan, in the Manhattan area when you were first starting up your club. It seems like they made their way over here. At the time they were an up and coming group that couldn't even decide on a name for themselves. They were kind of rambling between uh, you remembered it being um the polytheists. You think they might have gone by anarchs before?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't quite be sure. But for you feel your beast stirring upon seeing the symbol, upon seeing Casimir's work. You haven't fed us in a little while.
It's like, you'll get your fill later. I'm busy.
But you have a willing subject over there who seems more than willing to be sharing.
No. You know, that's not who we feed on, and that's not changing.
Blood is blood.
And you are annoying.
You feel that voice beginning to fade back into the background. For you, Cuddle. Let's see, where was it? That's when your slider. There. It was the Oaxaca de Juarez is the city.
Oaxaca Dawes. Do you know where that is?
No.
Most don't.
Where is it?
Not in the United States. Stop moving around. You keep wiggling. It's not going to go on right.
I thought it'd be like an easy tattoo.
Mm-mm.
Fine.
Are you the only one that stays here? Are you the only one that stays here?
Yeah. It was abandoned when I came here.
Okay.
You, Casimir, when you see Essence walking around looking and even looking at the tags, the tag does look familiar to you. You do see remnants of Anarch, but you see one other. One that you haven't seen in a very long.
He's gonna stop. And the ritual's gonna stop, obviously, when the blood is gonna go back into his hand. He doesn't have his tattoo. And he's gonna get up and go over to the wall where it's at and touch it.
Essence is gonna come back in the group and she's like, I think we should pack up soon.
Why?
It's not. I don't.
I want to use an ability. Can I use unseen presence here? Or not unseen presence, Auspex.
Sense the unseen?
Sense the unseen.
Yes. And when you activate that, you do see symbols beginning to form. But the symbol that you're most focused on, you do recognize it underneath this particular one that does show that group. But you also see the symbol that she used to use all the time.
He's gonna take out that knife that he had, and he's going to start quickly, like... He doesn't even care. He's going to, like, cut into his hand that symbol. And anything else that he can. I don't have paper right now, so that's what he's doing.
Is he okay, Miss Essence?
No, he sees something. What do you see, Casimir?
And he's gonna take his hand and put it in, like, the dirt to kind of, like, get some of the blood off so he can have the symbol on his hand, and he's going to show her. That is my old coterie.
They was here?
Yes. And no one was here when you got here, right?
No.
No?
It was all dusty and gross and...
Are you part of a gang?
Me?
Yeah.
Not really.
Not really, or you are or not?
Well, they keep calling me, or at least like the fancy, keep calling me Anarch. So I guess I'm part of the gang. But then when I go to people who call themselves that, they just don't want me.
Like, this is the gang that Essence helped run out of town, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
This one would be just a kin gang.
It was like, we should definitely head out soon. I don't want to have a run-in with this gang again.
Again?
His hand is on the wall. Like, he is like... And he's gonna manically just start, like, anything that is in front of the wall, he's going to, like, try to, like, tear away to see if there's anything by it that was left.
Go ahead and make an intelligence and investigation.
Can I help him out with it?
Yes.
Intelligence and investigation?
Yes.
Intelligence. And you said investigation, right?
Yes.
2 beasts and 3 onks.
Wow. We are screwed. I'm trying to see if I have any in investigation. I felt like I did. No, I did not. Okay.
The sight of seeing that symbol is boiling your blood, making you angry.
I was like,
But you got rid of them. They were gone. They were done. Is this little shitlin actually telling the truth?
I have 2 onks and 1 blank.
Alright. Between the two of you, since you were assisting Essence, moving aside the boxes and some of the debris barrels, you do find a couple of things. One, an old vial. It's empty, but it's faint, like you faintly smell blood. It's so faint, it's so old. And then another, it's an old piece of paper. Somehow managed to survive what could have been a raid, some fire singeing the edges of the paper. The lettering is so worn. But you recognize the handwriting as yours.
As mine?
As yours.
oh, that's yours.
He's gonna put them in his stuff. We're going to have to do your tattoo somewhere else, Miho. I'm sorry.
Did I do something wrong?
Essence, do you think you could take a picture for me?
Like Essence kind of slightly roll her eyes because she's still like irritated right now with her beast and the symbol and stuff, but she took a picture of everything.
Get your stuff. Let's go.
He just grabs his duffel bag. Okay. Where are we going?
Anywhere but here.
Do you want the hotel?
No. I'm going to... I can't perform rituals at your club.
If you want, you
Uh-huh.
can. It's only Thursday? It's Thursday, right? It's Thursday, right?
It would be Friday now.
I think you guys can use the suite. We shouldn't have anyone up there tonight.
Alright. We'll go up there. If not, then back to the church. And I'm locking you in my room.
As long as you and I are locked in together, I guess it's okay.
Mm. He's not going to be focusing on that. He's still going to be looking at his hand.
That's when Tucker looks over and he's looking at the symbol with you. What is it?
I'm going to push his face away.
What is it?
Mm.
Sorry to break this love fest, but we should get going.
Mm-hmm. We're leaving.
As you guys make your way to the car, Isaac helps you all in. takes notice of the duffel bag, and he looks at you, Essence. What's going on?
We need to get out of here quickly and to the club.
Okay. He helps you all get in. Then he gets you driven all the way to the club without any issue. And you get out. At this point in time, the club is pretty bustling and busy, but Isaac decides to take you around the back to the back entrance where nobody is permitted. And he helps you inside using his key badge. And from here, you're able to take the elevator or the stairs to go up to that suite.
Like, Essence will hit her key card to open up the elevator to help Casimir and Tucker, Josh, Andrew up.
And for Tucker, he is just absolutely over the moon excited. His eyes just looking at everything. He's been here once before, of course, but he's in the elevator now. Like, where else is he gonna go? This is so exciting. And he just isn't feeling the gravity of the situation. He doesn't understand. He's just looking at everything, occasionally putting his hand on your shoulder, Casimir, out of excitement before going back over and getting excited. He looks up at you. Do you not find this exciting? It's so cool.
This isn't. Oh, I've been here before.
Oh, right.
Me and Essence are friends. Remember?
Yes.
No, I was thinking about him. You and me haven't been the same.
Alan. Mm-hmm.
There's the Yandere vibes again.
I feel like that's a reference.
No.
And the door is open. And he looks back at the both of you outside as if asking for permission
Please
to hop out.
enter. Make yourself at home.
And he goes in. Is this the same suite as the one with the snakes?
Yes.
So he's gonna go. He finds this whole space exciting. Just looking at snakes. He's not touching them or anything, but he's just looking at them, oogling at one, moving on to the next, moving on to the next. And Isaac was with you the entire time. Is there anything I can get you?
Wait, was that
Yeah.
Isaac?
Yes.
I was like, yeah, meet me in the room because I'm a little hungry.
Okay. Right. Do we want to do it right now while we have a moment?
Yeah. Casimir, please feel free to use the space however you need, move wherever you need around. I'll be back.
No.
He's gonna set up the ritual again, Will.
While Tucker is all enthused and distracted.
Yeah, and while Essence and them are.
Mm-hmm. So for Essence and Isaac, you guys go off into the room. It's completely empty at this time. Nobody's inside yet. And he'll roll up his sleeve and offer his wrist to you.
No, so he will kind of dig in a little bit harshly since she's like running with emotions, very angry. She doesn't mean to hurt him like that, but too much is happening.
And though he knows that you're normally as gentle as you can be, he realizes that something must have happened. He tries his best not to say anything, not to make any kind of sounds, other than just putting his hand in his pocket and just gripping tightly, trying to keep his voice contained. And in this moment, he's not feeling the pleasurable sensation that he normally would. So he just keeps his mind focused elsewhere until... How much do you take from him? You have 1 or 2 hunger right now.
I was like, I have 2 hunger.
2. So you just be down to 1.
Cool. She'll lick the wound close. And she's just like, I'm so sorry, Isaac.
No, it must have been something.
It was like, do you remember that game, Anarchy?
Isn't that the one that... they have the same name as that one vampire group, but I don't... Weren't those the human ones?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if this is human, non-human, but I just saw the symbols again in that place, and it just brought up a lot of memories, and I got very overwhelmed.
I see. Is it... Do you think that... I can go back with some men and we can look to see if we can find anything else if you'd like.
No, I'm not gonna worry about tonight. I don't want to make a mountain of a molehill. Nigel's already stressed with me. I don't want to add more to his plate right now.
Okay. We'll go ahead and wait on that.
But I do appreciate the offer.
Of course. Just let me know when you would like to.
Can you please message Nicole that we may have that guy out there probably staying here and will need a babysitter?
I thought he was Casimir's.
We can't send him anywhere else right now.
Not even the hotel?
They have beef with Alan. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go talk to Nicole right now. Just call me if you need anything.
I shall.
While he leaves, Casimir, you set up the ritual a lot faster than before. You get it all set up, you get it all ready. Your mind is just eager to get this done and over with, because now you have maybe a lead. She might have been here, from what you're saying. Her symbol was there. You want to find more. So once you get your ritual ready, that's when Tucker notices it as well, and he just veers right to you. Ready?
So he's like in a daze. He's not really saying much at this point. He's just a lot of mixed emotions. So he's trying to keep it
Contained. And Tucker moves in without question, sits down.
Let's get this over with then.
And for this, Tucker, like before he starts to speak up again, but then he stops staring at you. And he just straightens himself. It's like he's on the same wavelength as you. Like he's processing exactly what you're feeling. Almost to the T. And he just composes himself and just keeps his eye on you as you begin your ritual. And for Essence, about this time is when you're walking out, seeing the ritual being performed. And every so often, you have Tucker show you his hip, make sure that the symbol is coming through. And without the added distractions of speaking, of talking, of moving, of interacting, it goes through much quicker.
Lights on.
And for him, he's just googling at his new tattoo. To him, it's like you in turn can feel for a moment what he was feeling. Overwhelming happiness. Just like a
No, I don't like
strange,
that feeling.
I know, strange mix of happiness. It's something that you can't quite pin. Like, you know it's happy, but there's something different about it. That's when he'll look at you two, Essence. Just with this goofy grin. What are we gonna do now? You guys look tired. Is it that late already?
It is.
Is that when we need to go?
I think for tonight I will stay here with him. Well, I promised Rochelle I would go back there. I can't.
I will go back there if you guys would like to stay here.
Oh. Can you bring her back?
Yes. She'll put it in her purse.
Thank you.
Of course. I will have a bodyguard downstairs to make sure no one comes up. And if you guys need anything, Nicole will get it for you.
Thank you.
Of course.
He's gonna kind of have to say thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Essence.
Anytime. Ted.
That's not my name.
Oh, okay. That's not a name for you. Okay.
Silly.
And I'm gonna take him downstairs into one of these rooms.
Oh, you guys are staying in the suite.
Oh, we're staying in the suite? Oh, dang, we're special.
You're staying in the suite. You're staying right then and there. You're not going to the feeding chambers. You're not a white.
Okay.
But yeah, she's like, there's 2 bedrooms here in this suite. I don't care what you do. They're both king-size beds. The snakes will never go into the rooms. Refreshments are in back there. If you needed something fresh, Nicole doesn't mind. Just don't kill her.
Just because she's your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Your friend or groupie?
She's my ghoul.
Be on my best behavior.
Thank you. Please don't embarrass me. This is my club after all.
I only promised to try.
I'll keep him in watch.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I shall take my leave then. I'll make sure. Oh, there is a phone in one of the suites that you can have. It's an iPhone, so it shouldn't be too hard to use.
All right, I'll try to figure it out.
I'll help him.
Thank you. The only numbers that's logged in right now is just mine, Rochelle's, and Alan's at this time. Speaking of numbers, do you have a phone number, Ted?
Tilly, my name is Tucker.
Andrew.
Josh.
Uh-huh.
And yes, I do.
I was like, I'm gonna take your number too.
You're not gonna.
Not gonna what?
You're not gonna. As long as you don't tell my family.
I don't know who your family is to even tell them.
Go ahead and roll a charisma and persuasion.
This is 6. Don't fail me now. I got 2 crits and the rest is onks.
Okay. And then he gives you his number.
She'll put it in as John Derry.
Oh, wait, Essence, before you go, there is one more number. And he's gonna give her Sophie's number real quick. Can you put this in your phone as well?
Yeah. She adds Sophie's number to her phone. And I'll add all these numbers to your phone when I'm less tired.
Alrighty. As you finish up and collect what you need, you get Isaac and you have him taken back to Rochelle's apartment. Do you wish me to stay?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you want me to stay in the car nearby? Do you want me to be in the apartment with you guys?
You can come to the apartment. You can rest on the couch. It'd be dumb to keep you out there all day.
It could be. People might ask questions.
Yeah, it'd be a little suspicious.
You head up and get in. It's about the same. At this point, everybody's beginning to turn in. Nothing's really changed. TV was left on, but the room, Rochelle's room where you were staying at, is about the same. And for you, Casimir, Tucker goes in and then a pause real quick. Can we pause real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Back to recording.
Back to recording. Casimir. At this point, Tucker is hugging onto you tightly. He looks up to you, those same doe eyes from earlier, this goofy grin. And as he goes in, you said you would share stuff with me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are we gonna share?
Mm-hmm. And he's still completely dead on the inside after everything he found out. He's just gonna shove his hand in his mouth.
And he startled a little bit at first, but then he quickly regains his own composure and bites down excitedly. He's not gentle with this one. He's excited. Just using force at this point. And he's completely oblivious to your stares as he begins to feed. And how are you feeling, Casimir?
Heartbroken. So heartbroken.
Why are you feeling heartbroken?
She totally left it behind. That's what's running behind in his mind right now. He's like, she left it behind. She was here. What is going on?
Okay. And after a few minutes, Tucker pulls away. And as he's licking on his fingers, licking the wound he made on Casimir to close it all up, he looks up at him. You were left behind too?
No, we're not talking about that. I'm going to bed.
Why don't you want to talk to me?
Because we don't talk about our feelings.
Why?
Because that's how we end up where we are. Left behind.
And at that point, he shuts down a little bit and looks away. Christian.
Your
That's
real
right.
name.
That is my name. But it's Tucker, Josh, Michael to everyone else.
Okay. Oh. Mexico.
Is it nicer than New Mexico?
Very much so.
And you won't leave me behind?
I can't make that promise just yet.
You made me promise to behave.
I did.
So.
But I don't know if I'm going back. I don't know if I'll even make it.
I'll make sure you make it back.
Let's just hope so. Then maybe we'll have a place we can go back to. Maybe.
We can only promise to try, right?
I promise I'll try.
He's just gonna
But you have to be good, and you have to listen.
He glomps onto you. I will promise to try.
Not try, do.
And at that moment, he's just gonna curl in and just kind of fall asleep on you.
I'm gonna pet its head. I'm screwed.
As you're contemplating everything you've been through this night, meeting with Sophie, learning new magic, beginning to understand the repercussions of your earlier decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and finding out old secrets and shadows don't stay secretive nor in the shadows. You all turn in for the morning and allow the streets of New York to be filled by the kin who now rule it. And we'll end this session.